Good morning, Vernon. It's another pristine morning here in Vernon, and I'm glad to just catch up with you again a little bit. I'm out riding again. I know somebody suggested I should get a motorbike instead of a road cycling bike, but this works for me and I'm happy to do it. Out here towards Kukuli Bay. It's a beautiful morning. One of the interesting things recently has been I find myself biking on a lot of rough roads. The Vernon roads are a little bit rough. A friend of mine actually, he renamed Maple Lake Road Marble Lake Road, and so my hands are a little numb from all the vibrations. Anyways, one of the things that I'm keenly aware of in this season is there's just a lot of posting going on, and social media already has that tendency, right, where we can just put out these little quotes and these little sayings and these little platitudes, and one of the sad things about that is, for me, is that some of those things contain real nuggets of truth, and yet it's become disposable to us, right? We put them out there, we throw them away, and we move on to the next thing, and we have such a hard time sitting with any one thing for any period of time. And so that's even my concern with putting out a morning word on a regular basis, is that it just kind of will get lost in the the abundance of little quips that are out there that are somehow supposed to help us cope in this season. I don't know who it was that said a little knowledge can be a dangerous thing, and that's another concern that I have, even as I share some kind of foundational spiritual disciplines with you, is that I'm going to give you this little tidbit in 5 minutes or less, and you're supposed to know how to engage in a particular spiritual discipline, when really some of these things have been around for centuries, and there's a lot of learning and teaching that have gone into them. And so again, I encourage you, if something, a particular discipline that I offer strikes you as intriguing, or I encourage you to explore it more. If you go based on just what I'm giving you here in a few short minutes, you're really gonna just be in the shallow end of the pool. And so, having said that, I want to revisit, hey, there's a squirrel. So cool. Squirrel. Having said that, I want to revisit what I talked about last time in terms of the prayer of examine, because I feel like in a lot of ways I just glossed over it, and I want to come back to it again, and I want to actually just lead you through it. And so first thing to do when you come to the prayer of examine is to, whether it's at the start of the day or at the end of the day, whenever you've got a little bit of space, probably 20 minutes or less, just to walk through the previous 24 hours with God. So find a quiet space and pause the video and just settle yourself, pay attention to your breathing, make sure that you're comfortable, relaxed, and can really just pay attention to your own thoughts. The second thing is then to invite God into this process and say, God, let's just walk through the previous 24 hours and help me to just pay attention to, where did I notice you, and where didn't I notice you? What were you doing? And then just take some time and just walk through, what you did in the morning, after breakfast, and out the door, and maybe you ran some errands, whatever it is. Just walk through all the details and just pay attention and try to notice, where were you aware of God's presence as you were doing this? the final thing in terms of kind of the consolation and the desolation of it is we will recognize as we do this and walk through our entire day, there's going to be times where we miss the boat, where there was maybe a really great opportunity for us to be kind or forgiving or loving or compassionate, and we just missed it. And I think that's another key component in terms of this prayer of examine, to not allow this to become a tool that the enemy can use to beat you up and to shame you that you're not enough. If the end result of this time that you've set aside to examine your day with the Lord doesn't have you come away feeling more like you are the beloved of God, then you're approaching this wrong, and you need to do a little more exploring and reading in terms of how to do this properly, because this is about you connecting with God and recognizing His presence in your life and how He's walking with you. Hey, just to kind of finish that last thought, I think one of the things that when I've done the prayer of examine that I've got caught up in is this whole thing of, I'm not enough, or, I've missed it too many times, and it can be kind of come like this checklist of I'm making it or I'm not making it. And, I think the intent of it is more to become more aware of God's presence, that He's there, and that I can see Him in the little things of my life, and it's not about performance. I don't need to achieve. There aren't all these hoops that I need to jump through to please God, but to become aware of how intimately He is involved in all the details of my life, and to find Him there, and recognize that that is enough, and that's part of the journey, the joy that can be in the journey. Anyways, trust you're doing well, and that you'd have a great day today, and that you would see your God whatever you're doing. Amen.